Hello and welcome to Capacity TV. My name is Natalie Bannerman, Deputy Editor at Capacity Media. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Bertold Frech, VP of International Strategy and Steering at Deutsche Telekom Global Carrier. Bertold, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, hello, Natalie. Nice to be with you today.
So talk to us about the company's unique approach to business development, particularly digitalization.
Yeah, as an industry, the tech operators are, of course, the ones that are enabling digitization in many different industries. And at the same time, our portfolio is very much centered around legacy propositions still. If you think about the voice services, the messaging services, but we need to transition these services into digital propositions for our customers, as being provided also by new entrants into the markets. The likes of Twilio or Vonage on communication platform as a service is a good example. And at Deutsche Telekom Global Carrier, we see ourselves as the ones that are orchestrating services across networks, so an orchestrator of networks, and making sure that the customers get access to the physical infrastructure that suits best the services being used. On top of that, we are moving our production of the services into the cloud and enable access to those services via APIs, which is creating a telco as a platform type of business model. And everything we do at Global Carrier is working against those goals, also leveraging the fact that we operate in many different countries. We have many different networks from the affiliates of Deutsche Telekom, whether that's on the mobile side, on the fixed line side. But we are also, of course, integrating networks from other carriers that we are partnering with. And that's why the collaboration in the industry forums like C-band, GLF, GSMA, and others is so important for us.
Absolutely. And I think one such issue that we can't avoid talking about, no matter how much we want to, is of course the COVID-19 pandemic. And I suppose, how has that affected Deutsche Telekom Global Carrier's digitalization strategy, and has it, accelerated it at all? Or?
Yeah, I guess, the pandemic has created a situation where customers around the globe are expecting digital services. And the pandemic has also shown, the speed with which digitization can happen. I guess we have all experienced it, across all different industries, whether that's the media industry with people starting, streaming videos at home, the transport industry with the likes of Uber or Lyft and so forth. And these digitization trends have very much accelerated by the pandemic. And of course, also at Deutsche Telekom Global Carrier, we are now speeding up, so to say, and we make sure that our services increasingly become digital services. And what is also clear through the pandemic is that reliability, quality, and security of our services are absolutely key. Because you cannot afford, let's say, a video conference that we are having right now to break down or being hacked, let's say, by intruders. So these parameters are gaining in importance due to the digitization, which is driven by the pandemic. And what is also important to understand is that, in order to provide global propositions for the customers, we have to work together as an industry. So no carrier can do it alone. So that's why we're also engaging from Global Carrier side in industry bodies like GSMA, like Global Leaders Forum, like C-band, to provide common standards with regards to interfacing between the networks, APIs, or blockchain technologies.
That actually is a perfect segue into my next question, which is, how the companies continue to innovate in the space, particularly in the light of the growing needs of the enterprise customers, which, as you mentioned, as well as the wholesale customers, for things like remote access or more data, higher speeds, and things like that.
Yeah, at Deutsche Telekom Global Carrier, actually, we have established a dedicated business development unit to boost, let's say, innovation and digitization, to work across all the different functions within Deutsche Telekom Global Carrier, as well as the technology units. So we have created so-called innovation tandems, where we have put together employees from the commercial side and from the technical side to work on dedicated innovation topics. All of this is supported actually by a workflow which is fully digitized as well. So we have an IT tool supporting that workflow, which I guess fits perfectly in that case. And we are working on topics like communications platform as a service, like edge cloud, like blockchain technologies or IoT developments, IoT packet gateways and the like. And I guess with this approach, we are bringing together the expertise across the organization, and we're driving the innovation in these areas together, as I said, with the industry bodies that we're working with.
And kind of almost circling back, I suppose, on one of your earlier points about security, how is Deutsche Telekom Global Carrier managing the increased security requirements that come with increased digitalization? Because we hear about it all the time, as things become more digital, our attack surface increases, and the bad actors, as they become a lot more intelligent. So I'm sure there's some new challenges there as well.
Absolutely. And as a global carrier, we already some years ago defined our strategy, what we call the 360-degree defense strategy, basically compiling different security elements in our portfolio across, let's say, the different products we're offering to our customers. Examples include Lambda encryption services for layer 1 services, SMS protection, or DDoS defense. And picking DDoS defense as an example, we are now digitizing also further these security services, what we call DDoS Defense Platinum, where we basically offer DDoS defense as a service from within our backbone network. And you mentioned the B2B business before, which is of course a driver for many of our customers. And here we can see that, for example, SASE is becoming a very important element for the SD-WAN deployments for our customers. So we are also working on enabling these type of services from a wholesale perspective.
Yeah, amazing. And believe it or not, I'm at my final question now, which, there's so much work going on, with the digitization over at Deutsche Telekom Global Carrier, but I suppose if you can kind of maybe broaden that down a little bit for us, what are the strategic priorities for the company kind of looking ahead?
Yeah, I would like to quote here our CEO from Deutsche Telekom, Int'l. He said that if you don't know what to do in the morning for Deutsche Telekom, what you should do is digitize, digitize, and digitize. So this, I guess, is a very nice summary of where our focus is. And of course, we're bringing new digitized propositions to the market. We're also working on digitizing the existing portfolio, but we also changed the way how we operate as a company. We have a dedicated program also on transformation on the way we are working. Let's say building up the skills in our organization required for digitizing our services. And this is definitely the prime priority in our organization.
Absolutely. Well, you heard it here first, everyone. Digitize, digitize, digitize. Great way to end our interview. Bertold, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much to our audience as well.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.